Hello friends. I just filmed this video for the last hour and forgot to plug the mic in. So let's start over. Hi. It's been 3 months and a little bit and we're back. Sort of. We'll get into it in a second. But it's good to be here. How are ya? Let's talk about the channel. Let's talk about life, what I've been up to, and what the future of the channel looks like. So if you're interested in seeing all of that, keep watching. Hello friends, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new. If you're new, this is a weird one to come back to. I am just coming back from a 3-month break. I was feeling really burnt out with content creation and simply my life, and I just needed some time to step away from all of the things that I know and to really recenter myself and ask myself the questions that I've been sort of avoiding asking, like, what do I actually want to get out of life? What do I want my life and my world to look like? What things should come with me into this remodeled version of my life? YouTube was a big question. Obviously, I've come to an answer. We will talk about it at the end, but before we jump into the channel update, let's just talk about what the heck I've even been up to these last 3 months. So the last 3 months have been really busy. I called this summer my chaotic girl summer because I had basically plans every single weekend, had plans even during some of the work week, and it was just a really fun, really chaotic time that I am so grateful to have lived. It was full of concerts. I saw Charlie Puth, The Used, and Pierce the Veil. It was full of visiting friends at Virginia Beach, up in the mountains, up in Northern Virginia. I flew out to New York to visit my grandfather and my aunts and cousins. I got to play mom for a little bit with my 7-year-old cousin and help her get ready for school and get to play with her and do her hair and read her bedtime story. I got to fall into old hobbies again, and this is perhaps one of the biggest, most exciting things that happened to me during this time, is that my love for books has flourished. In the last year, I've read about 30 books. I'm on my 30th book so far. I'm sure I will probably hit 40 by the end of the year, which is really great. And far surpassing my goal of 24 books, which I'm so beyond excited about. I used to be a huge reader as a kid, and then, as with many of us, school becomes sort of overwhelming. You have a lot of required reading, assigned reading, and then you just don't really want to read for fun after that. And that happened to me for a little bit, and then about 2 years ago I started to get back into reading again. At first I was like, I have to be the intellectual girl, I have to read classics and nonfiction and all the things. I threw that notion out the window this year, and really last year too, and it allowed me to discover my favorite books I've ever read. I read the A Court of Thorns and Roses series this year, which was so freaking good. It was my whole entire personality for like a solid 2 months, and it will be a book series that comes with me for the rest of my life. A series I'll revisit, which is not something I typically do. I also read Fourth Wing this year, which I had a huge book slump after reading it, so ended up reading it 3 times in a row. I have 3 copies of this book. I have merch galore. It's my favorite book I think I've ever read, ever. I pre-ordered Iron Flame, cannot wait for November 7th. Don't call me. Don't talk to me on November 7th. I will be unavailable. I will be reading Iron Flame. Divine Rivals, the Cruel Prince series I started recently. I've only read the first one. The Wicked King will get here on Tuesday, and I'll keep going with that one. What other books? Red, White, and Royal Blue. I read a lot of contemporary romance, a lot of Emily Henry. Midnight at the Blackbird Cafe is a really good one. So many great books. If you guys want more book content, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, or Goodreads, where I share tons and tons of book content. I also write reviews for each of the books that I'm reading on Goodreads, and then I share them on Instagram. So if you want to see all of that, you can check out the book highlight on my Instagram, or you can check out my Goodreads. I'll leave everything linked down below if you're interested. I've tried Storygraph. I know a lot of people like it more. Wasn't for me. Another really big and exciting thing that happened that I'm not going to talk too much about because I'm a big proponent of keeping my private life, but I got a new job, and that's really exciting. But it also means that things on this channel are going to change because they have to, because big things in my life have changed. Previously I was working remotely. This job is not remote, it's hybrid, but it's 4 days in office. And so I just am not going to have the flexibility with my schedule that I did before. It's just going to affect the channel a little bit, but things are already going to change anyway, so not really that much. But yeah, I got a new job. I'm only a couple weeks in, so I still have a lot to learn, a lot to figure out. but I'm excited to see what this world looks like. I'm now working in corporate America. It's a totally different world from where I was before. And yeah, it's a whole new experience, but I'm meeting so many new people, and I think it's gonna be great for me to get out of the house, because as an introvert who was working from home, I wasn't getting a lot of people time exposure unless I made the effort on the weekends. Sometimes I just like to laze about on the weekends, so I think it'll be good for me. A couple of little things that happened during the summer. I started watching the Game of Thrones series again, which I don't know. I started watching it a long time ago, never made it all the way through. Then I just sort of picked it back up where I started it. And it's honestly a show I have to watch in increments, like very small increments, because it's a bit intense. So I'm still making my way through it for like the first pass. It's okay. It's not like my favorite show in the world, which is interesting because I'm a huge dragon girly. I don't know. It's alright. It's okay. But what I think is better than okay, the Twilight series. I watched the Twilight series for the very first time this summer, or really this fall. Just today, I finished them. And, oh my gosh. The way I missed out on a huge cultural moment, and I'm finally filled in. I am Team Edward through and through. I will die on that hill. You cannot convince me to be Team Jacob. I have really strong opinions about Jacob that are not going to change. So, yeah. I mean, no need to fight about it in the comments. It's a hill I'm dying on. But you can let us know what team you're on if you want. That could be interesting. We can see what the divide is in our little family here. Other little things, I went on my annual siblings trip with my brothers. I have two brothers, one older, one younger. My older brother's Mike, my younger brother is Joey. And we go on a little siblings trip every year. We have been for like the last 4 years, I think. And on this year's trip, Michael brought his girlfriend Courtney, and Joey proposed to his girlfriend Chloe, and she's now gonna be my sister-in-law, and that's really freaking exciting. She's one of my best friends on the planet of Earth, so it's just such a gift to get a best friend and a sister in one person. So that was really exciting, and we went up to Beach Mountain, North Carolina. So if you're in the DMV, sort of South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky sort of area, that could be a really fun place, or West Virginia, that could be a really fun place to head out if you're looking for a fun fall destination. We went for a mountain hike, and I would definitely say mid-October is definitely peak season for the leaves up there, so like early to mid-October, totally worth it. Really stunning views. A couple of other things, I went on a solo trip this year, and this was a huge thing for me and my life. The solo trip really helped me put a lot of things into perspective. I knew I wanted to do this because I needed to prove to myself that I could survive on my own. On this trip though, I spent a lot of time reflecting on myself, my life, and asking the questions of what is it that I really want out of this life, out of this world, out of this small amount of time that I have here on this spinning ball in the air. Well, I decided that I want to be an art teacher. I want to work with kids, and I want to be an art teacher. So I will be going back to school to do just that. I'm hopefully going to be starting that either this upcoming winter or this following spring. Just depends on when the programs are available. So that's definitely going to be a big time consumer that is going to also affect the content output here on the channel. During that trip, I did so much reading, and I also practiced a lot of creative writing exercises, and journaling is one of my favorite things to do on the planet of Earth. But I started doing some fiction-ish writing. It was loosely based on real life. I started writing a novel. Yeah, a novel. And that's big. I've always wanted to be a writer, and that dream kind of changed for a while. And in some ways that's still the same. Like, I don't want to be a full-time author, I don't think. But I would like to still write books if I can. So anyway, that's really exciting. And one of the biggest developments of this summer has been me opening myself up to the possibility of love again, which is something I have for many years not allowed myself to even consider, for many reasons. I don't talk much about my past dating history on the internet because I feel like those stories aren't just mine, they're the story of the people I dated as well. But I guess what I can share is I dated this guy when I was younger, in my late teens and early 20s, and like, we picked a wedding date, and we had promise rings, and we had this big huge plan for our future. I fell in love, and I fell hard. I'm an all-in kind of girly, and he became my whole world, but also my whole personality, my whole identity. And when things came crumbling down in a dramatic and heartbreaking and really big and scary way. It took me a long time to trust myself again and to trust other people again. I spent many, many years ignoring the trauma and heartbreak and devastation that was that relationship and all of the lingering effects of it. The lingering effects of my entire identity being wrapped up into a man. And when I finally decided to start doing something about it, it was a few years later. And I guess it's been 7 years now that I've been single. And maybe the past 3 or 4 years, I've really been working on myself. And I finally like myself and finally trust myself. And that was one of the big reasons I went on this solo trip. To prove to myself that I could survive alone if I needed to, if I wanted to. And so I wanted to go, and I wanted to be completely alone in a place I'd never been and make it work. Find a way to make it work. Find a way to feel comfortable. And I was, and I did. And now I know I can survive on my own. And it was a really beautiful and introspective and wonderful experience. And in all of that came the art teacher revelation and the writing revelation and the allowing myself to move on. I'm really proud of myself. I'm proud of myself for allowing myself to trust my instincts again and to consider or to be open to dating again, which is, yeah, a lot of things. And that is the life update. Now, as for the channel, as I previously said, I got a new job. Readjusting to that as like it's a whole new thing. It's very new to me still. The schedule is totally different from my old schedule. There's a commute involved, and so that's 2 hours of commuting every day, and there's just it's just more. I also am planning on going back to school, which is going to take up a lot of time. So what does this mean for the channel? When I took my break, you guys knew my schedule had been changing. I had been starting to feel a type of way about YouTube. I switched my schedule from once a week to once every other week or twice a month. I have decided now, and this is most likely a permanent change, that I am going to treat YouTube not like a job. I had been treating it like a job when I was doing weekly uploads. Now I would like to treat it like what it was intended to be, a hobby. Which means there's no schedule. I am not going to put pressure on myself to create a schedule, to have videos go out at a certain time on a certain day, because this is supposed to be a fun side activity for me to do, to share my passion of fashion and life, and hopefully book content too a little bit with you guys. So videos will keep coming. We're going to do the same videos. We're going to do thrifting and styling and DIYs and sewing and putting together outfits inspired by art or cosplaying or all of the things that we've already been doing, and new and fun and creative ideas as well. They're gonna keep coming. It's just gonna be less. There will be fewer videos because I just won't have the time, and I am so proud and so grateful for the balanced life that I've created in the last few months, and I'm not willing to give it up, so I won't. So it's just gonna look a little different, and that's kind of it. But if you guys want to see more content from me, I will always be uploading on TikTok and Instagram and shorts. If you want more book content, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, Goodreads. If you want more fashion content, all of the platforms, you'll see all of that stuff. Movie reviews, music reviews, things like that I do over on Instagram as well. And that's sort of it, you guys. This was a lot, so if you stuck around, thank you. You're a real one. It's good to be back. I'll see you guys soon, and keep on hanging. I appreciate you all so very much for being here. Feel free to subscribe if you'd like. You can also give this video a thumbs up if you're interested, or turn on the post notifications, which will become more useful now, especially since there is no schedule. It will make sure that you know when videos are going up. I'll also try to make sure you guys know via Instagram or the YouTube community page as well before a video goes up. I think that's all I have for you guys. So don't forget, it costs absolutely nothing to be kind. So be kind to yourself and others. And if that means setting boundaries for yourself, do it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.